Hi, I'm Randy Wooden, and welcome to another in our Edge Library series. We're talking about military and the transitions that military folks make. We'll talk this time about where to look for work. It's a question I get from time to time, and there are really three primary, maybe three or four, but three primary ways to go about finding resources for jobs. The main one is through networking. You've probably read about it, and you'll see other videos here on our site that pertain to networking. It's the best way. If you have to do only one thing, if you only do one thing, do networking and do it well. So that's probably the main one. You hear everything from 60 to 80 to even 90% of jobs are not advertised. I don't necessarily buy that realistically anymore, because with all the websites out there, jobs that typically in the old days would be in the Sunday newspaper now can for free be found online at companies' websites. So they don't have to go through the monsters and career builders of the world in order to post jobs. They can post them on their own site and have those get picked up by other search engines. So it's available out there. Most jobs show up somewhere. It's just hard to find them sometimes. Two other places you can begin to look, three actually. Networking, the main one, you want to look online. I mentioned that. Whether it's the sites I'd mentioned, there also are sites dealing with military transition. There are a variety of websites. There are thousands of websites out there. The best thing I can tell you, again, everybody has different backgrounds and expertise. Best thing I can tell you is do a Google search for those sorts of sites. You could key in everything from military transition employment to any number of keywords, and then from there look at the websites that pop up with the various jobs. One other place you could look is job fairs, and the military typically will have those. Colleges have them. They have them in the community. If you're already out of the military and you're in the civilian world, most of the time, at least three times a year, every community will hold job fairs. They're not the best way to get a job. They're very crowded. It's what I look at it as is it's a way for you to make contact with an employer, but don't expect to get hired on the spot, number one. And secondarily, the jobs that many of the companies usually are looking to fill are real entry level. I mean, real entry level. So it's typically not going to be fruitful for you, at least in the short term, but look at it as a way to get out and network, because you never know who you're going to run into. So those are some ways. Another way is the old-fashioned way, is through the Sunday paper. The ad section is very small anymore, and for the most part, the jobs advertised in there are low-paying hourly wage jobs. So really not a key way to spend your time. You can also talk to employment agencies. Employment agencies, just as a way to educate you on this a little bit, there really are two types of agencies, and I'll do a separate segment in our Edge library talking specifically about this in great detail. But just understand that employment agencies or staffing firms are the same thing. They're paid by an employer to go out and fill a position. That position could be permanent placement, meaning you have a salary, you're hired on as a direct employee of the employer. Many times, though, it's on a contract basis for a finite period of time, at which point, when that's over, then the employer can say, you know what, I like this guy or I like this gal, I'd like to hire them straight on as an employee, and that's your method of entry into the company. In no case do you actually pay money to the staffing firm. The employer picks up that cost, so you're in good shape with that. It's a way to get your foot in the door. The downside to it is that while you're employed, you're really not employed by the employer, even though you're standing shoulder to shoulder with somebody who is. You're actually there as an employee of that staffing firm. And so you're not building time with your employer, you're building time with the staffing firm in terms of retirement and that sort of thing. So anyway, some ways to look at resources. You've got 3 to 4 primary ones. You've got networking, online, you've got job fairs, and then you've got recruiting firms, staffing firms. So those are your ways to go about it. I'm Randy Wooden. Thanks for watching.